Hey guys, it's Levi from the Rag Company, and today I've got a special treat. I've got the crew from Kenny's Rod Shop here in Boise, Idaho, KRS, all the guys here, and it is because we have been working on a new project that a lot of you have seen a little bit on social media. You've seen some of the pictures me and Kenny have been posting, and the show is called The Shop Journal, and it's basically us going down, hanging out at Kenny's Rod Shop, meeting the guys, getting to know them, get to see who they are, what makes them tick, why they love doing what they do. But today I've got the entire crew here, and you guys can we're going to tell some stories. It's literally all we're going to do so that everybody can kind of get to know you guys, and then maybe they want to watch the show and they want to see what, maybe actually get to see, you guys in action. So this is kind of just a little primer, a little taste. But cool. Simple. We got about an hour. We're just going to talk and tell some stories. So let's go around the horn and everybody introduce themselves, what their job is, and we'll start it that way. So, man to my left.
I guess I'll start out. My name is Kenny Welch. I'm the owner of Kenny's Rod Shop, 28 years now. So, I guess I'm the head honcho. We are missing two people. John Wells, which would be by my right, which he's not there.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah, in spirit. He had to go do some stuff, so he's not here. And then my office gal, which happens to be my oldest sister, Sherry, she opted out not to be in this group. No, I think she'd probably hear some crap about her little brother she doesn't want to hear about, or maybe tell some,
Or maybe she's just tired of you guys.
Exactly. It's you go and do your thing. But anyways, once again, I'm Kenny. I'm the owner of KRS, and this is my guys.
I'm Kenny Jr., the son, obviously, of the boss. I do the wiring. At least I try.
That's good. None of the cars caught on fire yet.
No.
Not that I know of, at least, So.
I'm kind of a rookie, is what I consider myself. Pretty green, so I just try and soak up everything. Do a little welding here or there, a little bit of everything. It's
nice.
pretty much it.
I'm Chad Ediger. Started with KRS probably 2 months ago, so pretty new.
Nice.
Still trying to get used to all the guys.
I didn't know his name was Chad.
Darn it.
My main background's just in sheet metal fabrication. I've done a lot of body work before, but I've moved into fab, sheet metal stuff. It's a lot more fun. And here at KRS, they have a lot of good tools to use, a lot of fun for me. Every day I come to work, make some pretty cool stuff. So it's been fun 2 months already. So looking forward to it.
Back up real quick. How long have you been with me?
5 years.
Really?
Technically,
He's still green, and he's 5 years.
If you want to get technical about it, it's been okay. All right. So 5 years, 2 months. You're up, Justin. Go for it.
My name is Justin. I've been with Kenny just a hair over 2 years now. I'm a rookie in this trade here. I've done construction previously. Just trying to soak in everything I can right now. Just take in all the guys I work with. They're all very talented guys. I do some sheet metal fabrication, help out with the wiring. Still no fires there,
That's
so we're
good.
good there.
That's good.
Outside of that, it's just having fun. I'm usually the guy that has to climb ladders and go in high places.
We call him our spider monkey. He's just the guy. You need something up there. I mean, he just boom, gone. So everybody has even another role besides building rods and cars. They just, So, anyways, but next,
my turn.
Your turn, Chris.
My name's Chris. I've been working for Kenny for about a year now, close to it. Kind of do a little bit of everything, mostly just metal work, weld grinding, that kind of.
But you're not a greenhorn.
No, I've been working on some type of cars for almost 35 years now. I hate to say that, but
he's the oldest one in the shop.
Yeah.
I'm the old guy.
Well, Sherry, but she's not here.
We won't say that. We won't say that. She's not here, so.
I'm not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm Patrick. I've been with Kenny for 11 and a half years, which is about 11 years too long.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was going to say.
I do, right? I do a little bit of everything there, fab, assembly, Just about. I don't do any wiring though, because it would catch on fire.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Patrick's kind of my right hand man. He's been with me, like I said, the longest. My sister's been with me for 10 years. John's been year and a half, probably somewhere in there. So, but Patrick, I mean, he's my guy. I'm not gonna say a shop manager, because in my shop, we're all equals. I mean, I'm still the boss. Unfortunately, I'm the guy that gets yelled at. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean. And I'm still the decision maker, but I value these guys' opinion. And when we come together and make up, an idea, or we come up with a solution to something, it's a group effort, And I do. I really, really value what they have to say, because they all have different backgrounds of kind of where they came from, what they did, the styles of hot rods and things that they're in, which I think is really cool. It gives us a very good collaboration of something cool when we can take a little bit of, truck. He comes from kind of the mini truck and full-size truck deal, and you got Justin. He's kind of more of, I'm not going to say a rat rod guy, but he likes that, kind of a traditional, kind of car. And Chad, I haven't quite figured out yet because he's still new, but he brings in a lot of kind of some European motorsports, sports car thing. No clue. And Patrick is kind of like me. We're just diehard hot rodding guys. I mean, old, new, race cars, whatever. But it's been over the years, being the longest. We've grown close to each other. I mean, we have a good bond. I mean, I consider these guys all my brother. I love them all. And we know we've got each other's back, but yet, we also have our own space. I mean, I don't expect these guys to, go out to dinner with me every night and do podcasts every night, so.
If you paid for it, we would, though.
But I think they all know.
I know to do it more often.
But I think they all know that, we're here for each other. I'm here for them, and I know they've got my back as well. So, like I said, Patrick is kind of my right-hand man. I mean, he's my main guy when we go drag racing and stuff like that. So, which all these guys are all part of it. But it's nice to have somebody that I feel that I can go to and talk to, and not necessarily about personal things, just more in depth about the business, and then he can sometimes relay it to these guys. But like I said, at the end of the day, I feel everybody, for me, we're all on the same playing field. Whether you've been with me for 10 years or 2 months, I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Nobody's got nothing on fire, so that's a good thing. But it just...
Cut myself on fire.
That's right. No, that's true. Chris did catch himself on fire. But for me, in my business, I love having skilled guys, which, they talk about their greenhorns. They're not. I mean, they're definitely skilled in the industry. I believe they're honing their skills, as I am myself after 28 years still doing it. But it's nice just to know that we all have each other's back and we can work together well. And that's really important with me. I mean, when I had the body shop, we had 2 guys that worked in there. One guy was phenomenal and the other guy was okay. But the phenomenal guy just couldn't get along with the other guys, and I had to let him go. Yeah. And he was shocked. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm the best you got, And the brotherhood part of it, I guess, is what you'd say is I think what makes our job and our customers' cars turn out so good and so well when we're done, and a happy customer, because we offer that kind of family environment like we talked about before a little bit. So,
and I think when you give your employees, easiest way to say, you give them free rein to do what they need to do. You don't hold them back or constrain them. They tend to surprise you. A lot of what they can do.
Exactly. And I trust them all 100%.
And to have the fact that, I will say, the fact that they're saying, like, Junior, after 5 years, you're still a greenhorn. Like, that's pretty good, man. Like, that's a good attitude to have, and it'll carry you far in the industry, because you never stop learning.
You never stop.
You learn something new, and the industry changes like crazy.
Oh, it does.
And every time we've had employees come and go, Kenny's had employees come and go. Every time someone shows up, they bring something different, learning something new from Chris that he's brought from what he's done in the past.
A tip or a trick
and Chad, everyone from a different shop, or they've owned their own shops or whatever. Everyone comes in. So every time over the last 11 and a half years, I've learned a lot from everyone that's came in.
But it's cool, though, because
Justin.
I still think we end up, even at the end of the day that we work together very well, they still have their own desires of what they like. So their passion is still there for, traditional hot rods, race cars, sports cars, late model Novas, 70 series Novas, what he's interested in and stuff. So I like that. And I've always encouraged my guys to always want to go out and find more and do more and let's collaborate together. And like I said, we build a bitch and piece when we're done. And I think it's because we have that great team effort and, we can put together a little piece. Everybody throws in a piece of the pie and we end up with a whole pie. Yeah. It's just cool.
Yep. And that's how we are. We run that business the same way. None of us were hired here because of what we do. None of us were hired for the job that we have. All of us were hired and hope it's going to work. But, in the sense, I was hired because Jeff just had a question that needed answered. He didn't have anybody that could answer that question for him. So he called me and said, hey, can you answer this? I got a customer. And then that just kept progressing, more and more questions, emails. How do I hire somebody like you? With Tim, it was the same thing. He's the first real hire we've had, but Tim has a unique set of skills that we can utilize. But then he goes above and beyond that to where we're like, I didn't know you could do that. He's been working on some animation stuff, and I heard he's good at it. I had really seen a lot of it. The new animation you did today is pretty rad. So
it's for the intro for this show, actually.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
I watched that man fly a drone. That's
bad
to the bone, man.
He's a drone pilot.
He's got some talent there,
so
man.
So he does some neat stuff, and that's one of the cool things. And Anthony that does the channel and the podcast with me too. He's a hobbyist. Or an enthusiast. I keep saying hobbyist is a dirty word, but enthusiast detailer. He came from a guy who he was a very anal customer for himself and was like, I like it this way. He doesn't like people touching his car. He doesn't like certain things hitting his car. His car's immaculate. When he drives it, he takes it back home. He washes it. He washes his motorcycles. Everything is spotless to him. But that's how he holds it, and that's how he keeps it that nice. He would come in because he always bought products from us. Then he got laid off, but he had another skill set that we hired him for. Turned out he's really good on camera, and he loves telling stories and loves doing this, and he's a very fast learner. So as I'm teaching him stuff, he picks it up so fast and then can reiterate it and learn it, apply it. That's cool. I would have loved to have you in my shop working with me because we could have done awesome stuff. But now we're doing something totally, we're working, telling stories and making videos. And it's just fun. Everybody's like that. Dane, who's Jeff's son, started working at the company, went to film school, quit his job at Lowe's or Home Depot with benefits to come work in his parents' garage selling towels. And he hated it. And he was like, all I need... if I could just make a video. And he said, can I make a video that explains 90% of the emails I get all day? Yeah, go for it. And now we have a YouTube channel. Now we have a podcast.
Awesome.
Because there's different things that you just find. And kudos to, bosses like you and Jeff and Carolyn where they run with it. Let's see what you can do. What can you bring to the table?
Right.
And that's what's really neat. I think it benefits a lot of individuals when they can do that and they can create something.
And I've always felt that way, I consider us artists, what we do in the industry and things that we outsource, like my race car. You've seen the paint job on it, and I had a vision, but I know Lonnie is going to do his best when I let him do his best. And that's what is really satisfying and comforting for me over the years is to realize when a customer is like, you guys know what you're doing, just do it. Like our black 32.5 window that we finished, they didn't want it black, they didn't want red interior. Now that it's done, it's perfect. Couldn't have been any better, So to have that trust, I think, with your clients is just so cool that they just, I know when you guys are done, no matter what you do, it's going to be bad to the bone, So, and that's neat that I instill that in these guys, and I trust it in these guys that I know, hey, you know what? Here's the game plan. You do your thing. And I trust them. It turns out it works out. It's just cool.
And I think that's really key. That's, again, another big key point in just doing what you guys can do. You have to have that consistency to be able to work together, to learn off each other, to play off each other really well. And then on top of that, hang out with each other fairly well. Too.
Fairly well.
Fairly well.
So we always give Anthony crap because whenever we travel, he likes to eat. And the joke is that he always exceeds his per diem travel budget on a dinner. Usually it's and he's like, well, I didn't eat lunch and I didn't eat breakfast so that I could have this seafood fantasia at this restaurant. And so we always give him crap about that. And he also buys a crap load of eggs whenever we go somewhere.
I want to travel somewhere.
He buys them because he's like, I'm going to eat them. And when we were in SEMA last year, he bought 5 pallets, or a pallet, 5 dozen eggs.
Holy smokes.
He goes, for a day, I'm going to eat them. I should have the whole pallet cleared in the 10 days that we're here. And then you guys can have some too. And we only ate 6 eggs after 10 days. And we had to throw them away.
Wow.
So then the next trip in January, it was like, we're not even buying a dozen eggs. You're getting 6 eggs.
Ration the boy.
Yeah, because we stay at a house and we, you get the food and that way you can do it. But it was like, okay. So we always still give him crap. Even though he hasn't bought eggs in the last year, it's usually any trip or people that know of it send pictures like, hey, just landed, we're getting the essentials. And it's always they find a picture of 5 packs of eggs and send it to Anthony. So
that's good.
It's just one of those like just fun things that when we rib on him about it, but it's all in good fun. And it's, that family atmosphere. And we try and be as close as we can.
But I think we have that in the shop. I mean, everybody knows when somebody is having a good day or bad day, and we can respect that. I mean, Patrick's got some family issues going on with his mom, and we all respect that, but yet we also know when we can goof off and play it and have a good time. Yeah. And it's neat because as our customers, it takes us 1.5 to 2 years to build a turnkey car, and we acquire that relationship with our customers, and they know. I mean, I think about Lou who comes in, and in the beginning, this guy. I mean, we built this '52 Chevy truck. Older gentleman, straight laced, stand there. Okay, great, thanks. And now he's goofing off and making fun of people, making fun of the guys, and brings us lunch, and it just that to me is it's just priceless to have that with business.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many industries, companies just don't have that. And I want my guys to. I want them to come to work because they want to come to work, not because they have
fun.
to.
That's what you want. You don't want it to be a grind.
And it's been good. And we all have our good days and our bad days, and and they know they can sense it on me when it's not a good day, and they'll keep their distance. But it's good. It's just like I said, for me, that's just something that I've strived to achieve in the past 20 years of running this business. Is just having the people that just. I love and trust, we can do it. And that's what we've got. So it's cool.
That's awesome.
Yep, it is.
So we had a guy come in today that brought his dad and his son with him. He's a big fan on YouTube, watches all the videos. He was in town. And they drove by and he's like, oh my gosh, the rag company, I got to go in and say hi to those guys. And we really like that. It's kind of fun because for us it's new still. Like we think like we're a towel company, sell microfiber, but then people come in and are very excited to the point that we just gave them a tour. We were nice and just said, yeah, man, hey, we'll take you around, show you. Like I did the exact same.
You guys are rock stars.
I did the same type of tour though that you guys that I gave you. Like that's all it was. It was just, hey man, welcome to the store. All right, here's what we do. And they went on Reddit and posted a whole thing. It was like the rag company guys were so generous and sweet and nice and thankful and
sweet.
Yeah, we were very sweet, which is nice. Right. So, but it
been talking about Tim.
It's probably Tim. But it means a lot because it's nice when we can have a customer that just wants to come hang out or wants to, and it's like Lou, like he comes in because you guys provide that atmosphere for him.
But
you guys provide
it's neat
that.
In the same aspect. I mean, most of our clients probably own their own companies or did, and they respect our time as well.
Yeah.
So they'll come in and BS a little bit. And like I said, as with Lou, I mean, it's gotten to the point now where, I'm going to send you a consultation fee if you're standing here too long. And it's a joke and it's fun. And he gets, I get it. So it's neat that we have that respect in return, that they're not chewing on my guy's ear. Because as we've talked about before, I mean, a customer comes in, I send them right to whoever's working on it. I mean, I know what's going on, but I want them to hear right from Justin's mouth or Chad's or whoever. Yeah. That way they just feel there's no, well, maybe I'm, what's going on? No, you heard it right from the guy that's working on it, and they can respect it, and they know that I'm standing here BSing with him for half an hour. He ain't getting nothing done. I'm still getting billed, so it's like I gotta go. But And that to me is just like I said. Once again, it's kind of those. It's a priceless thing how business is turned into, and I like it. So.
Have you ever had a bad customer? Have you ever had to fire a customer?
Yep, I have. and it sucks. I mean, I do believe there's some people we just. I'm not going to say we don't mesh or don't gel, but it's just what they see, their vision versus our vision, and I don't think it's right for the customer, us, or the car. Because they're not going to get, even though we still try and give 100%, it happens. I mean, we're human. I mean, I got no problem with admitting that. And we've had a couple cases over the years where it's like, I think you're better off to find maybe somebody else, and they always end up fine when it happens. But it's just, I mean, for us, the end result is building a bitchin' car. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And if you're just not gelling with an owner or what have you, sometimes I think it's just better off to cut ways. And like I said, it's always been a couple times that it's happened, a mutual okay thing. And we've had cars come to us from other shops that have happened just like that. And we'll sit down and kind of explain, hey, I'm sorry this happened to you, but that's not us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting fresh, even though your car's halfway done. That's not us, So
and it ruins it for us as we're building the car. If you have a customer come in and the work is quality work, it's a nice piece, but for some reason they don't see what you're seeing. It ruins your motivation to keep going with it, or you're just like, man, hoping when they come in next, what are they going to have to say? They're not upset. It's an amazing piece, but you're not getting that. It's nice when a customer comes in and they're excited and they love what you're doing, and you can feed off of it, and it makes you feel good that you're doing right for them. And then you got a customer that comes in and it's a beautiful piece. Anyone else would be happy, but for some reason that customer just isn't pleased, and then they leave, and it's like, wow, is this right? Is this?
It knocks the wind out of yourself. And that's why I try and I tell these guys, hey, spend a few minutes, stop, and spend 5 minutes and explain. I think is what a lot of it is customers and the general public and TV is great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you see a car get built in 30 minutes, and it's like, oh my gosh, 30 minutes. No, it's 1.5 years to 2 years. I don't care who you are. That's what it takes. I mean, to build a quality caliber car, and for some of our customers, they just. Why do I keep getting bills for 40 hours of working on door gaps? Well, look at it now when it's done, the gap. Let me explain it to you, and that's what I try and tell these guys. If they don't get it, explain it to them, And I just think that works well. I mean, versus just, hey, no, it's what it is. No, I mean, this is where your money's going. We're doing this. And I really try to do that because I want happy customers, and 99.9% of them are great happy customers. But I think there's so many people out there that just don't give a crap, excuse my French, anymore, and it just that's just not how we run a business. It's got to be, explain it to them.
Well, and I think that's just basic customer service.
But it's come on, I mean, it's kind of going away nowadays. I mean, it's sad. I mean, we've had a lot of people that'll come in and talk about these two guys being the younger guys. Well, now him, it's like, man, the kid's got a lot of respect, and he's like he likes you as your boss, and that's neat to hear that. So.
That's how I used to work for a detailer, and the biggest thing was he would yell at me because I wouldn't get back to work. Yet he wanted me to spend the time talking to the customer to find out what they wanted, but if I was out there for more than 10 minutes going over their car and looking at it and figuring out and coming up with a price for them, and he'd still be over there and look at me and be like, what? Get to work, come on, like tell him to get out of here. And that wasn't something I enjoyed, because the customer would see that and go, who's that guy? Right. And I go, oh, he's just trying to mess around. I wouldn't tell him that's the owner of the company that you're having us do. Yeah, like I wouldn't. Yeah, and so that was one of the things at my shop is I always tried to take that time with that customer, because if you can create that friendship and you can just take the time to answer their questions and be nice to them, that's all people care about. That's all they want, and it's putting yourselves in their shoes. They're paying money for a product,
right?
And they want to make sure that they're getting the right product. I mean, it's simple. Even though I don't think enough of us that work in shops or have worked in shops know that, in that sense anymore. And I don't know. Maybe it's just generational, but your guys are good if they're spending the time to take that, that means something. That means that they're following the elder statesmen, and they're following the rule of law of the shop, basically. You know, I mean, so Justin, what made you change gears if you're coming from a construction background to come work at a hot rod shop?
Really,
that I want to know about. Like
the final straw for that, I was working a job 6 days a week, 17 to 24-hour days, no joke. 165 hours, 170 hours every 2 weeks. My daughter, wife got pregnant. She was coming, and I got to the point there where I was getting home 11, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night, every night.
Yeah.
Sundays was spent just recuperating. I just said, hey, I don't want to be the heating and air conditioning guy that goes in and out of my house, and that's how my daughter knows me. So that was the breaking point there. And really, it came down to I was looking through Craigslist, like most of us all do, and looking for another opportunity, another job. I wanted to get out. I was burned out. I had to do pep talks to come to work every day.
Yeah.
I was done, defeated.
Yeah.
And literally, I saw his ad on Craigslist, and I sent him a Dear John letter. I mean, that's exactly what it was. It said, hey, Kenny, so-and-so.
No, let me interrupt. The coolest thing is about this cat is on his toolbox, he's got this picture, Dan's 37, when we had it here at the Boise Roadshow show. He's got this picture of him and his little girl standing next to it. That's before he worked for me.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the coolest thing, you know, and then he sets in his toolbox. Every time I walk by it and turn the compressor on and off, I get a little giggle and just a smile on my face. It's like, man, this kid, you know, he's like, someday, this is it, someday. And now here he is. So anyways, back at it.
That's it to spin off what he said there. That was 3 months before I actually came and started my first tryout day with him. And if you would have asked me if I would have been working for him, when I took that picture, would have went across your mind.
Yeah. I don't even think we knew each other really at that point in time. No. So that's kind of a neat, touch your heart kind of feeling.
So you wrote him a letter.
Right, so basically, like I said, literally a Dear John letter. Hey, Kenny, my name is so-and-so. I know you said your ad, you need to TIG weld and this. I don't know how to do this, but I do like cars. I work on cars in background, a little bit about myself. I'm like basically pleading for an opportunity. I wasn't expecting to get anything back. And sure enough, he responded back. He said, hey, can you come in on this day? Bring your welding helmet, safety glasses. Let's see what you got. And, the rest was kind of told. I came in, I think 3 or 4 weeks, just 1 day a week, because like I said, I worked 6 days a week at the other place. So I'm still working 6 days a week, spending my day off to come work there to, try to make it or break it. And for whatever reason, I don't know if he had a moment of non-clarity. He said,
it was the water.
It must have been the water, and I am, extremely grateful for that opportunity. And I've grown so much. I've learned a lot. And really, at this point here, I want to get everything I can out of these guys before they croak.
Yeah.
Because on the next line,
how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay. You're still young. You're not that far.
But then I can lead on and help the next generation. It's something that's,
good.
From what I've seen in my time being around cars and everything, it's a dying art.
Yeah.
So to speak, everything is just all bolt on, Amazon.
Yeah.
This is it. There's no heart in cars, in my opinion, anymore with what I see with cars being produced today, just from the manufacturers even. It's a cookie cutter car that's made to last maybe 10 years and then they're on to the next one. And, I'm all about saving some of these cars, the stories of them, the passion people have, the history going back in people's time. Some of that, their great-great-grandfather owned this thing, had their first kid delivered in this car, whatever the story is. It's just great to be a part of it. It's just something that you don't get to do every day. I am truly blessed with that opportunity. It's not work for me.
Yeah.
And if you can find something you do every day, you get home and you're like, man,
it's fun.
It's fun. It was a good day.
Yeah.
I am yet to have a day where I've gotten home from work and said, hey, this was a bad day. I mean, I've had bad days at work, as far as what I'm producing.
Yeah, but you're not
work.
like, you're not giving yourself a pep talk the next morning.
Right. But I don't sit here and say, oh man, I don't want to go tomorrow. It's a bad day. Every day I look forward to coming. I'm bummed when I have to miss it, even if it's a doctor's appointment. Like, oh man, stupid doctor's appointment. Like, it's cool. I dig it.
It's because you just want to come see me.
Yeah, that's
You're not there.
I know. Then no one
has a bad
Give him
day.
11 years, he won't.
exactly.
So, Junior, what made you come work at the shop? Because you guys have 2 other sons?
I have two of the kids, a son and a daughter.
Okay.
And my middle son worked for me for a little bit. I think even my daughter tried working. She was doing...
So you tried welding?
Yeah, that's right. But for him, real quick, it's no free ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I treat him just like I do the rest of my guys. So I just want to get that out of the way. No free ride. That's it. So, okay, now you can tell about it.
I was
looking for a free ride, Dad.
Well, you own the company. Thought I'd come work there.
No, I wasn't in that situation like Justin where I was like ready for make or break, but I was kind of at a crossroads. I worked at a pizza place for like 6 years, and it was great. I met my wife there, and it was just kind of time to move up a little bit, having a kid, and just trying to work my way up the ladder, I guess. And so I went to call center, and that just wasn't for me. Like it's not for a lot of people, I guess. But
Yeah.
And I know my grandpa had been doing the wiring and just different stuff for my dad for many years. He'd been retired, and my grandma had her knees replaced, and I know my grandpa, we needed to slow him down a little bit, and I kind of welding and that sort of thing. I don't even like to get dirty, to be honest with you. So it wasn't really my cup of tea. But it's like, if I can do technology and wiring and things, and we can get Grandpa out of there. I mean, I'll give it a shot. So I just called my dad and kind of laid out a plan of what I wanted to do, and I bought a single relay, and I just was like, hey, I know how a relay works and stuff like that. And I follow my grandpa around, but she's just. I mean, he's a wizard. I'll ask him questions even sometimes about, a particular way something works electric-wise, even though I already know the answer just because he doesn't have a different story, but he just has many stories, so he always has an experience. And he's also really stubborn, too. That's kind of one of the bad things I picked up following him. But so I just, I followed my grandpa around and just sort of took his spot. I mean,
And I think what's neat about him, even as my son, they were around me, but I mean, they didn't grow up as car kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they just didn't. But yet he's in that era of a computer, technology, whatever. So I almost think it was kind of a blessing that he didn't have some maybe bad traits of car wiring or this and that.
Right, yeah.
But yet with his computer background, I mean, Justin is the same way. Both of these guys, I mean, they'll get on the computer, and that's not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm all thumbs when it comes to that stuff. But so it's amazing for me to see his progression in our industry from what he was to now. And like I said, I think a lot of it is a good thing because he didn't start out in it as I did as a young kid. And so with today's technology, I mean, it's insane to watch him do it. But it's cool, though, because he'll still call on my dad, which I believe my dad is, when my dad passes, I mean, the wealth of knowledge that's going to be gone there is tremendous. I mean, it's going to be a sad day, but it's neat to see his progression of something, like I said, something that's even different than me. Because I've been doing it 28 years, and I'm not a computer guy. And, hey, Dad, check this out. Check it out. And that's what like I said, I think is so cool that we all are so diverse, but we come as one, So, anyways, next.
Well, thanks for sharing, Drew.
Yep.
So, Chris, what were you doing before coming to Kenny's? Because as the elder statesman in the room,
model.
but you've done a lot of fab. You've built a lot of cars. You've done a lot of this for a long time.
Yeah.
So what made you come to Kenny's? What was the?
Well, I tried getting out of cars for a while. I owned my own business and worked a lot of hours, and I did paint, and I got sensitized to paint chemicals, which made me pretty sick. So I tried to be tough and stick it out and, have the attitude, well, everybody's going to die sometime. Yeah. And then after about 6 months, I had a business partner, and I went to him and said, I'm done. You want to do everything, shut it down, whatever. And I was pretty fortunate. He bought my half out. The doctor recommended I move. I lived on the coast of Washington where it's wet and rainy all the time. Yeah. So doctor said, you'll probably add 10 plus years to your life if you move to a drier climate. So here I am. Boise. I had some friends that live around here. And I took a job traveling around. We subcontracted for the railroad. I went out and I inspected cranes and did little repairs, and basically got to see the U.S. on somebody else's dime. I did that for about 2.5 years, and then the 1 week went to 2 weeks, went to 3 weeks from home. This and being married, it just was not didn't work out too good. So, and it didn't take too long being away from building cars, since that's what I did my whole life, that I just wanted to, it's hard for me to stay away from it. You know, I might sometimes complain or go, man, I got to do this again today. But at the end of the day, that's still what I love to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I a couple times I'd message Kenny, and sometimes it was like timing's not right, that kind of thing. And then I finally, he needed somebody, and I went and tried out for him, and I really did. I enjoy it. I like it. The hours are great. The people I work with are great, and I know sometimes I just kind of like seem like I'm the boring,
he's in his zone.
Yeah, just zone. And I do get in a zone. I get a lot of times. I have. I'm supposed to wear hearing aids. I hardly ever wear them, only when I watch TV, so the TV at home's not blasting loud. But so a lot of times there when it's working, I don't hear. I put my earbuds in, listen to music, and work away. And these guys, sometimes they'll be like throwing stuff, yelling as loud as they can.
It's funny. I think Chad even had one where he's talking to him. He's like, the guy just don't want to talk to me. You know? He can't hear you, man. You got to talk to him, you know. So
yeah, and especially if there's any background noise, I have like 50 to 60% hearing loss if there's background noise. So I can't hear anything. Yeah.
I mean, I'm banging on the car. I'm like, Chris. Huh? What?
Yeah.
So it can be fun.
And I catch myself saying, "What was that?" a lot, you know. But and sometimes I'll understand it, but I'm such a habit of saying, "What was," you know, like asking again. That I'm like, "Oh, I heard that the first time." Well, it's a habit, you know. But I do like it. Even though sometimes it probably seems like I'm there, just kind of like doing what I do, and I still enjoy it. I'm learning. I've done metal work, but we do a lot more of it there. So, I get to use, there's machinery I've never used and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's one of those things like you were saying earlier, about never stop learning, never whatever. And I kind of that way. I always like to learn stuff and, try to do better at things. Yeah. And everybody, it's like we've already mentioned, everybody's got their different things that they are a little bit better than somebody else, or knowledge or different styles or the way they do things. I love to watch, other guys, how they do something or build something, or because, you pick up a different idea, it's, you might see, oh, that's way easier, or oh man, that's a way cooler idea than how I was doing it. And I'll go around, I might know how to do something already, or even know the answer to the question, but I'll go ask one of these guys, Patrick or Chad or Justin or something. I'll go, hey, what do you think about this? Just kind of, I don't even know, so research, just because maybe they got an easier way. All the time, I'll be like, hey, I need to do this. This is what I need to do. Do you know of an easy way to do this? Yeah. And because, and I do that all the time because I just want to know, okay, I know how I do it, but okay, if you got a quicker, easier way, that's the way I want to do it,
Then we'll just lie to him and watch him fail. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that's cool about Chris working for me is being a business owner himself. So there's things when him and I can talk, and I can tell he's looking at it from my viewpoint, which is interesting. And that's nothing against anybody else that hasn't owned their own business, but there's times where I get it, Kenny. We need to do this, we need to do that. So that's one of the I'm not going to say a good quality in him, because he's got great qualities, but that part is interesting that he and I can relate on some of owning your own business and how to deal with some of this crap, good and bad sometimes. So, but he's a phenomenal fabricator, and like I said, he brings to the table of his own style of things. But there's just times where I can tell he's like, hey, I know what you're going through. I get it. I see it, and that's something that him and I bond on that these guys don't, because they just haven't owned their own business, But yet in the same breath, he never overrides me either as a previous business owner. I mean, he knows his place in the shop, and it's great. So I've got a huge respect for him for that too, definitely.
Yeah, I usually almost always, I always go to him and I say, hey, I ask him, like, how do you want this done? Like, I mean, I know how I would do it, but it's not. It's his shop, at the end of the day.
He's got that respect.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have that respect of him as I do with the other guys, But it's interesting because that was one of my concerns. It was like, hey, this guy owns company. Is it going to be, hey, dude, it's this way, And Chris is not that way at all. So it's one of those things that I have a lot of respect about him about. So
And there's sometimes where like you'll be doing something and I'll be like, okay, are you sure? Or and there's sometimes that we'll go, oh, okay, yep, you're right, whatever. And it is with everybody's things, it's kind of neat because you can run into a little problem or you run into something that, you go, you see that, but then once you do it, you go, oh, wait, no, it's not going to work. But then everybody can collaborate and throw ideas out there, and it's kind of cool because somebody will go, oh, we should do this, and then you take like 2 or 3 ideas, and you cram those together, and then you're like, oh, that's really cool, So I do. I like working with everybody else that's...
Well, and he brings up a good point because in our shop, we try and put a guy with a project. We all work together. It's not his project, but like Chris right now is doing the unibody, and he's kind of the head guy on that. And there gets to be a time that, and I can see it, they may not admit it, but I can see where they almost become rum-dum. They're just looking at it. And that doesn't affect our quality. It's still there, but sometimes Patrick will come by, like today. Matter of fact, we're looking at these hood hinges that these guys made. We're fighting them, and Patrick, come here. And sometimes, oh man, crap. And I think sometimes you can become a little complacent. You're staring at this thing all day for the past 6 months. So that's where I think it's neat that we can all work together that way, and it's never like, oh, well, that's stupid. No, it's like, oh crap. Well, okay, wait a minute. And like I said, Patrick or Justin can be bringing something to his viewpoint that he's not seeing, and now it's like, oh man, that makes sense. So, and that's something that I pride all my guys in once again, like I said. So,
and I like the fact everybody here is car guys or truck guy or whatever. Everybody's there. They don't just work there and, hey, this is my job, but I really don't like cars, or hey, this is And I've worked with guys like that in different. I've worked for different shops and different things and managed companies, own companies, and you'll have guys they're there to make because they got to make $1.
Yeah.
They're not a car guy. They don't even necessarily like what they. Yeah, they don't even like, or they may be a craftsman.
But they're just not an enthusiast.
Once once they go home, they don't own a custom car. They don't care to own a custom car. They don't want to do anything. And that's what I like about these guys is these guys will talk. Well, yeah, what I mean. Well, wiring guy's not really a car guy, but Fusion. But I've done a ton of wiring, and I was a little bit bummed that there's a wiring guy here because I do like to do wiring. But it's. I do like that about everybody because, we can kind of talk cars and talk this and we talk other stuff besides cars, but it is neat to work with. Everybody seems to get along and joke around and cool. It's a nice place to work.
Nice. So Chad is the newest member. What do you think so far?
Oh, it's great.
And was it something that you were gunning for? Like, is that, coming to work, working for a hot rod shop, was that something that's always been on your... was that a goal? Was that something you were working on? What do you wanted to do since you were a kid? Or?
Yeah, pretty much been doing cars since day one. Then was of age to work and started in another shop, small, just some guy's backyard shop that did race cars. And then I've worked for a few shops. I just moved here from Vancouver, Washington.
Okay.
So I worked around that area, out in Portland and stuff. I worked my way up. Different shops, worked for a few big shops in the area, and then the wife and I, we both have family out here. We traveled out here all the time, winters and summers, and we decided to sell the house. And where are we going to live? We didn't really care for the Portland area, and we didn't want to live in Vancouver anymore either. So called Kenny. I think I actually called him close to 3 years ago. When we bought our first house, saying, hey, you guys looking for someone? And at that time, I wasn't ready to move away from family. All my family's back there. And then, so I worked at a shop out in Portland for about 3 years and traveling 120 miles a day and getting home at 8:30 at night. It's, same situation. You don't want to get back up and do it again.
Yeah.
So it was time for a change of lifestyle, so we moved out here. Now I have a short drive. We love the weather. It's hot and it's cold in the winter, and it's not as rainy and wet. And so, But as far as the car stuff, I've done that since I was a kid. I went to a college in the middle of Kansas for 4 years, so they have the only bachelor's degree in automotive restoration. So I have a bachelor's of science in auto restoration. So Jay Leno's done a couple verbs about it. Chasing Classic Cars has filmed a couple episodes out there. So I learned a lot in the 4 years I was out there. But I mean, you learn every aspect, wiring, trim, upholstery, panel fab, everything. So, and then when I got done, that's, you kind of get to a point, well, like Chris, what else am I going to do? This is what I like, and this is what I'm good at. I don't want to learn anything else.
Yeah.
It's too late now almost. So, but yeah, no, I love it out here. Both the area and the shop. Everyone's great. Everyone at the shop it's a family atmosphere. I've worked for other places that it was kind of cutthroat. No, don't come ask me for a tool. You can't borrow from me, or don't look at what I'm doing, because then it'll make you look better. That's not the way to work or run a shop either. So it's a completely different feel, and that's what I enjoy, coming to work, and you actually want to be there.
Yeah.
If you respect the atmosphere and you respect your boss and you're having fun, you want to work harder.
Yeah.
You don't have that foul taste in your mouth of, well, I don't want to work.
Yeah.
And then if you want to work, you get more done. And I mean, we're building hot rods.
Yeah. End of the day.
Yeah.
Build some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, we get to work on some cool stuff at the end of the day. So and make a living doing it. So that's pretty good.
So Patrick, what's made you stay for 11 years? How about that?
Here we go.
Wow. Let's see. Well, I was failing as a male prostitute.
Okay. Well,
So-
we all have to try.
No, actually, I did. Yeah, I don't know. It's just always been great working with Kenny. We've had our ups and downs. We fought. I've left and came back, and
But I think that was the best thing that
I think
happened.
it was. Yeah, I got after what was that? After 9 years of being there, things just kind of I don't know. I think for a while there, because that was right after we went to Detroit with the 37. I think everyone gets a little bit of an ego after you've done well. You've made the grade 8 and you come back. I felt I was good at what I was doing, and Kenny obviously feels good at what he's doing, which sometimes. But I think there was a part of me. It's like I think I can go out and I can probably do better.
Yeah.
And
I think that's just human.
yeah, and then I left and went to another shop, and it was like, this is terrible. This is nothing that I wanted. I'm still building cars, but it wasn't anything I was doing at Kenny's. And it's like, wow, after about 6 months, and I came back to Kenny, we both just had a talk. He didn't ask me to come back, and I didn't ask to come back. It was just kind of a mutual thing. It's like, I'm not happy, I talked to him, just advice. What do you think I should do? Because, even prior to that, we were friends, looked up to what he had to say and the whole thing. And it's like, maybe it's just time to come back and build nice cars, And
I think it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to you and I. I mean, I think we just have a different respect. Not that we didn't respect each other, but I'm not going to say, the grass isn't green on the other side. That ain't what it was about. I mean, and I understand it. I mean, it was a crushing moment to me because, I had him and then another gentleman that I figured they were going to be with me till the day they died, and then when the other guy took off, and I feel that was kind of the stem of what happened there. And I get it. It's all fine. But it was... It's interesting, for me. You put your heart and soul into trying to find the right people, and when that happened, it like I said, I don't think anything negative of him, but I think it was one of the best things that's ever happened to us, So we've just got a different respect because he's my guy. I got to call on if I got something with the business. He's the guy I call on. So
other than that, I worked for the railroad for 9 years. I was a conductor. I've worked for Les Schwab, but I've always built cars. My brother got me into working on cars when I was 12, and I've got trophies for being mechanic of the year at Meridian Speedway and working on cars and did this and that. And I think I was working for Les Schwab at the time, and a mutual friend was driving by where I was working out of my garage, working on a 34 Chevy pickup that I was chopping. He's like, "Oh, you need to go talk to Kenny and see if he's got a job over there." And I'm like, "John, now those guys are all, Wyotech. They all have a degree, and I'm this, backyard
degree. Come on.
I know, and that's what's funny. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I got nothing. I'm out here with an anvil and a block of wood, banging some metal over it and stuff. And I get to the shop, and after taking about 3 months to get the courage to even go there and talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, come in and work on your days off." So I came in, and we got a nice big steel workbench, and everyone's over there doing all their work and hammering on stuff. I'm still on the concrete, laying on my hands and knees over a block of wood, banging on a piece of metal. And I did that for about 3 weeks, and he's like, yeah, if you want to come here and work. So I left a pretty good paying job with the full benefits, but it wasn't building cars. I mean, cars have always been my passion as far back as I can recall. I mean, even when I was old enough just to draw them, that's what I was doing. And then I started working there, and things progressed, and I just can't get away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I just can't go away. Got house payments, It's
No, that's rad.
Yeah, it's actually been really good. It's been, learning from Kenny. At the time, I think when I started, I lied and told him I knew how to TIG weld, which I didn't. So watching him and the other guys learning to watching them TIG weld really taught me a lot, and just over everything, because all of it, all the metal work, you think you know what you're doing until someone has been doing it a lot longer, and it's like, holy cow, I had no clue that you can do that with metal, or the equipment that we have that you can do that with. And then, as time went on, Kenny started giving us, I think with the other guy that was there and myself, he started giving us more and more freedom on what we were building and how to do it. And that feels good when you have the ability to use your own. He gives you an idea, the customers and Kenny, they come to you and this is what we want. And we don't draw anything out. There's no renderings on any of the cars. It's usually on the concrete floor with a Sharpie, and we start drawing stuff out, what we want to design. And then he just kind of leaves it to you. It's like, all right, this is what we have for an idea. Go for it, and you get started with it. And that's nice, when you're not stuck under, this is what you get and this is how I want it. And
I'm not giving you the blueprints.
You can't deviate from this. This is what you have. And
I'm giving you the canvas that you need. And that is one thing that
nice
is,
to get that.
It's neat to have that. I mean, and I trust
we all have different,
them all.
Yeah, we all have different, all of us are artists in our own ways. And, it'd be different, like someone doing oil painting, watercolor, whatever. It's always going to be different. Maybe the same picture, but each medium's different. So it's the same with all of us. We all have a different artistic view of what we want this to look like, but he gives us the idea, this is what we're looking for, and the rest of us can go in and do what we want, which is nice. So 11 years of getting the freedom of knowing that you're not artistically stifled. You actually get to go there and
create
something. That's a big word. Stifled. Nice.
It is pretty nice that Kenny lets people have input into the build. Like Patrick was saying, that he'll listen to other people's ideas, and go, well, what do you think about doing this? Not just like, this is how it's going to be. Yeah. This is what it is. This is.
Except for Chad.
Well, Chad's got to get broken in.
That's my shop. Because I'm sure Chad, like he's saying, working for other shops. I've worked for other shops that have been that way. Like, nope, this is what we're doing. And like he said, you have a rendering, a picture. This is what we're building. This is what we're not swaying from this. We're not anything. Even if you see an idea, and that's what's nice about Kenny is he'll listen. If you have an idea, you can say, "Hey, what do you think about this instead of this?" Or what do you? And sometimes he'll be like, "Yeah, that's cool." But he'll at least listen. And it's nice to be able to even have somebody ask you.
Well, I think that gets back to what I was talking about. The creative juices. I mean. If these guys are stoked about it, they're stoked about it, and they're going to give 110% of what they're doing, So, and I trust them, and they do. They listen to me well. We all come up with that. I mean, and same with the customer. I mean, there's times I'm not even in the middle of the conversation. I'll send the customer over, and I come over like, "What are you doing, Patrick?" "Well, the customer wanted this. Go with it. You heard it right from the horse's mouth. Let's do it. So, and I just think that gives these guys that passion and desire, because I let them do that, and that's the way I think it should be. I mean, we're all artists in our own minds and rights and stuff, and to put the reins on somebody, I just think be devastating, So and customers do. I mean, they'll put the reins on us sometimes, and it sucks, But I get it. It's life. It's still their car at the end of the day, but yeah, these guys have all just got creative juices. I mean, and like Patrick being with me the longest, I mean, I've seen his progression. I mean, I don't know it all. But when he came to me compared to what he is now, I mean, it's just like, wow, it's stifling. So it's good.
That's cool. Yeah. I like listening to all your guys' stories because I see a little bit of myself. Even though I've been a detailer for 20 years, I was raised in cars. My dad and all my uncles, All my uncles are Ford guys. My dad's a Chevy guy. So my dad's got 4 brothers that basically say like, well, you must have been dropped on your head. And he says, well, actually, I think all 4 of you were dropped on your head, and Mom was the only one that held on to me. But that's how I just grew up in it. I know what it's like for you guys, because that's just how I was raised. And my dad collects old Chevy pickups, and so I was raised on old Chevy trucks. That's what I've had. That's what I've used. And then I just loved, as a child, I loved feeling cars. I don't know what it was. There's something weird about me. I just like touching fenders. I like touching hoods. I like touching grills. Like, that's what I do. So, but I started drawing cars. That was what I did. I drew cars because I liked touching them, and so I draw them. And then, basically, I wanted to become an automotive designer. That was what I wanted to do, right? And then I thought, how can I learn these curves, these shapes better? I should be washing cars. I should be polishing cars. I should be touching cars, right? But then I found out that I loved polishing paint. I loved detailing. That was where I found my Zen moment. That's where I found, I could put my headphones in and I can just work. I can forget about the world and I can just get something done. But at the same time, my dad had a metal shop, and he built custom furniture and then built hot rods for fun, just his own stuff, working on it. And so I would be drawing on the floor with a grease pencil or a chalk or soapstone, and I'd be drawing out what I needed to make for a table we were building or a piece of furniture that we were doing. And that was the floor of my dad's shop, just drawing it out on the floor. And this is how we're going to fabricate. I'm going to bend this, and I'm on the floor beating it with a hammer and an anvil. And I'm like, we had a workbench, but it was full of other stuff. And so I see that, but that was my thing, was just polishing, building. I've had my Oldsmobile, I had Cadillac 68 Coupe de Ville. I've got a 41 Chevy pickup now that has just been sitting for the last 10 years at my dad's house in its current state, mostly because I'm married and I have kids. And someday that'll get worked on. It'll make its way. But so I've just been excited that you guys have allowed me to be hanging out the times that we've been in the shop. I'm thankful that you've been able to let Tim wander around and eerily leer at you guys with a camera and silently stand there, always judging.
It's just so cool. Like, when the time when Jason was here, it just, sure, you're a car guy. I mean, and maybe Tim is or isn't, but I mean, it's cars bring people together. That's just so
exactly.
Cool. I mean, like what we're doing right now. I mean, it's so cool that, you're a detail guy, not this guy, but that guy, but it's still cars. And that passion amongst it is just so cool when you get people together at a table like this and just start yakking about cars. I mean, it's cool. Your dad, my dad, the history that's there, what do we get to pass on to our kids? And cars are just, it's cool. It's so cool.
Well, and let's say it's a great equalizer, but it's something that everybody can understand. Mm-hmm. Whether you love them or you hate them, whether you like custom stuff or whether you like Ford Fusions. I understand.
It's a nice one, though.
The guys bust my balls because I have an Elantra. And but it's, you find joy in something that makes you happy and gives you something that you can do every day. Mm-hmm. And it's fun that you can find something in a job where you enjoy it and it doesn't feel like work, and it makes it fun. Mm-hmm. And the goal of the show is for you guys to be able to tell your stories, for the people at home watching, for them to be able to come check it out, see maybe they didn't know, maybe this is, they never thought that. Maybe it's like you said, 30 minutes to build a car. It's not 30 minutes to build a car. There's a lot of little things. But it's not that. And that was our goal, is to be able to show this, be able to have something for you guys to be able to be proud of, to be able to be able to show your families, to be able to show your kids, to be able to, because that, for me, my daughter has autism and she learns by watching videos. That's how she understands things. And it was hard for me when she would come into my shop and she'd cover her ears because the polishers are too loud, there's too much noise. the air, there's a dog, there's all kinds of stuff. And it was, I could say, this is what I do. This is what I'm good at. This is what pays for this. But it doesn't go over. It just, she doesn't see it. She isn't aware of it. But I can put a video up and I can show her our YouTube channel and me standing there talking about polishing a car. And she will watch it and then she'll be done and go, that was so cool the way you clayed that paint.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's great.
You know how that works? Or she sees, me using a Rupes polisher and hears me talking about it. And she goes, oh, hey, yeah. And I bring home a Rupes polisher keychain. She knows what it's for. And she goes over and pulls out her brother's Hot Wheels and starts polishing. And my boy goes over and grabs it. Like, that's awesome. For me, that was how I saw it. And I see that as a, that is a look into what I've done in my career, and so that she can understand it now and sees that. And the goal of the show is for that, for you guys, for your families, so that they can see and go, wow, Chad, you made a great move to Idaho, Justin, you really enjoy what you're doing, As I say, Junior, you've taken on a legacy of your grandfather. Chris, you've found something that makes you happy and something that you can enjoy and a place where you can find your zen. Patrick's found his, your home, basically, in a sense. Like, you found something that you can do well and get recognition for it. Right. And I really like that. And Kenny's you've been able to foster this, good times and bad times. You've fostered this group of guys that are now, you guys are a team. And that means a lot.
It's priceless.
So, that's the goal of the
foster dad.
Yeah, foster dad. but it's grown and it's grown, but it makes you guys better at it, and it makes you guys make him a better boss. It makes him be a better, makes him be a better boss to you guys because he can understand it and learn it, and that is the whole goal. And awesome. For you to be able to tell the story and maybe provide it for your grandkids. Or your kids can see it and go, holy cow, look what my dad did, and that's the whole goal of it. And that's awesome. What we're trying to do. And we hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. Thank you guys for coming after a hard day of work, a hot day of work, to come hang out in the studio. Well, we're in the conference room, actually. We're not in the studio. So, but make sure you guys tune in to the new show here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. We're really excited about it. We hope you enjoy it. It's called The Shop Journal. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
For being a part of this.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys later.